Assalamu alaikum, my name is Akif Nawaz, and in today's class we are going to talk about Anglo-Norman literature, which is also known as Middle English. So what are we going to discuss? The context, introduction, famous writers and their famous works. Now, so the Battle of Hastings is one of the important happenings because it marked the beginning of Norman conquest of England, and it happened in 1066. Okay, so what happened? Anglo-Saxons were there, they were ruling it, but French attacked them, and King Harold too was defeated and killed by William the Conqueror, the Duke of Normandy. So what happened? There was English culture, English tradition, and then French arrived and conquered England for the very first time. So what happened? There came the blend of French culture, language, governance with that of the English culture, language, and tradition. Okay, so the battle's outcome had a lasting impact on English history, leading to profound changes in the language, legal system, and aristocracy. Okay, so you guys would have experience this thing from by yourself as well, because if you're studying English literature from any of the universities, so you have the French language. So that is why the French has a lot of impact or influence on English language, culture, and tradition. Now, let's start talking about its introduction. Anglo-Norman period of English literature, it starts from 1066 and lasts up to 1350, followed the Norman conquest, bringing a fusion of Anglo-Saxon and Norman French cultures. It marked a transition in English language and the emergence of Middle English. So before the arrival of the Middle English, there was Old English. Here are some of the notable writers of this period, their works, dates, famous one-liners about them. So two of the famous writers are William Langland and John Gower. There's another most important, that is Geoffrey Chaucer, but we're not talking about him in this video. Okay, we'll be talking about Geoffrey Chaucer in detail in some other video. So the first one is William Langland, 1332 to 1386. That was his life, and his famous work is Piers Plowman, which is also known as A Vision of William. So there's no specific date, just because of the fact it was started in 1360, then some of the part of it was published, and right after that it goes on, and the final product that we get is in 1387. Notable one-liner about him: the poet of social justice and spiritual allegory. That is a single line that defines his work. So why he's significant, right? So the Piers Plowman is an allegorical narrative poem written in Middle English alliterative verse. It explores the moral or social issues, particularly the corruption of church and struggles of the poor. So not only he was interested in moral writings, but also he talks about the social issues as well. So the work is notable for its vivid depiction of human condition and for reflecting the social unrest of the period. Now quote, for covetousness of goods, men's consciences are murdered. So that is the famous line that is taken from the Piers Plowman or A Vision of William. The next one is John Gower. John Gower was born in 1330 and was died in 1408. His famous works were Confessio Amantis, Vox Clementis, and Mare de l'Amo. So these are the dates that are in front of you. You need to keep them in mind. The notable one-liner that defines his writing is the moral poet who spoke in three languages: Latin, French, and English. The first one is Confessio Amantis. It is written in English that blends moral teaching with tales of love, told as part of confession between a lover and a priest of Venus, right? Vox Clementis is written in Latin and deals with peasant revolt of 1381. So peasants revolt again is really important to keep in mind, and Vox Clementis is a work that is written on the basis of this revolt, right? While Mare de l'Amo is in French and reflects on human morality and divine justice. Gower was a contemporary and friend of Geoffrey Chaucer and is known for his mastery of multiple languages in his work. So Geoffrey Chaucer again is a prominent writer of this age, but when it comes to understanding and defining his contribution to English language and literature is very vast, so that's why we need a lot of time, and we'll make a separate video on the works of Geoffrey Chaucer. Now, quote from Confucio Amantis is, "For now fortune is mine enemy." So I hope you would have got some of the important things about Anglo-Norman literature, the context, Battle of Hastings, and its famous notable writers and their works. So that's all from my side. In the next video, we're going to talk about Geoffrey Chaucer in detail, his works, everything will be discussed properly. So that's all. If you guys have anything to ask, anything you would like to add, so do share your thoughts with us in comment section, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.